another Elite Dangerous video, and yes, it's another one that has absolutely no gameplay of any kind. This is basically going to be about Horizons, which was announced a couple of days ago. And I freely admit that when it was announced, I was totally disinterested. I didn't pay any attention to it whatsoever. But earlier on today, I was having a look through the various dev announcements and whatever, and I reluctantly admit it had a few things in there that caught my eye. Is it possible that this could actually be the update that the game badly needs? Well, when you compare it to the updates that we've already had, yes, it's an update that changes things for the better far more than any previous update has. So of course, shock horror, this is the update that's a paid for expansion. Now, I've seen a lot of people complaining about the price of the expansion. I can't for the life of me see why they are. I've not seen anything that says to me that Elite Horizons is standalone. So these people who are complaining, saying, oh, new players can come along and pay blah de blah for, I think it's like 40 quid or something for Horizons, whereas those of us who've got Elite Dangerous have already paid 40 quid for that, and then another 40 for the expansion. I think, well, that's a bullshit argument, because unless Horizons is standalone, like I say, I've seen nothing that says it is, then you're going to have to buy Elite Dangerous anyway. So you've got you're going to be paying 80 quid total regardless. As it is, and I'm one of the mugs who bought the lifetime expansion subscription thing. So every expansion that comes along, I get it for free. Well, I say for free, I've already paid 35 quid. It also means that when the Horizons goes into beta, I'll be able to test it out. I use the word test advisedly, because no matter what testing we do and what bug reports we make, it will still be completely fucked up when it goes on release anyway. So, okay, the chances are I'm not going to bother with the beta testing of it when it first goes live. I don't even know when the beta starts. For all I know, it may have already started. I doubt it, but it might have. But once that's done, and it's been up for a few days, I might actually give it a go. So there might actually be a forthcoming Elite video that I do that actually does contain some gameplay footage. So what's in it? Well, we've got planetary landings. So I'm rather glad to hear that that has got priority over this totally superfluous expansion that was being touted, where you could walk around your ship. That adds nothing. And it looks like they've been forced into changing what it was going to be. I am still convinced that the original plan was to just make it that you landed on a planet, landed at a starport there, and once that's done, it's no different to a docking station in orbit. Now, I think No Man's Sky threw a spanner in the works there, and now you're having to, or they've had to implement a feature where you're able to explore the surface of a planet. They can't even say that this is a great new feature, because anyone who's even just heard of No Man's Sky will straight away see this and say, I wonder where you got that idea from. On top of that, the way that it has been described, you leave your ship and you're exploring on the surface in a rover, some sort of like lunar craft. And you think, oh, did they play Mass Effect before they came up with this idea? Because, let's be honest, it doesn't half sound like that. There are also going to be new mission types. I haven't actually seen what these new mission types are. For all I know, they haven't actually been announced, so it's back to, typically vague, feature announcements from Frontier Developments. Oh, it's going to have new mission types. What are they? Wait and see. Oh, that's helpful. There will also be an exclusive ship if you already have Elite Dangerous, and let's face it, I don't think there are going to be that many people who are interested in Horizons who don't already have it. Then you get the Cobra Mark IV, or at least, well, I mean, I guess it becomes available to buy. I doubt you're given one. The Cobra Mark IV is a bit new. I've not seen any details on it. It's never appeared in any previous Elite game. The Cobra Mark III was always the latest, even though around the time that Frontier came out, the Cobra Mark III was described as, quote, old. And I think there was a mention in Frontier about a Cobra Mark IV, and apparently it failed at the prototype stage and was abandoned. It might be the Cobra Mark II I'm thinking of. Anyway, one of those. So it appears, oh okay, we've now got a Cobra Mark IV that's working. Well, either that or they've forgotten the backstory. So a new ship, one, and okay, it's another variation on a existing ship, but it's not as blatant a variation as the two we've already got, whether it's the Diamondback or the Eagle. I mean, okay, the Eagle's not there yet, but it's coming. The Cobra Mark IV is, it has the possibility of being quite different, and it will follow the general ideas of the Cobra Mark III, but it is supposed to be, the next step up. It could look quite different. I doubt it will. I think it's going to look relatively similar because it has to be recognisable as a Cobra, but it's probably going to be slightly better in every way, and I dare say significantly more expensive, but it's not as bad as the previous Diamondback variants and the forthcoming Eagle variants. This one actually is showing some genuine progression, so that has the potential to be okay. The planetary landings, now that they've been forced to go this route and give us a lot more gameplay from landing on planets, this could be, interesting. I mean, you could end up exploring some very unexpected worlds. I mean, as far as I can tell from what I've read, you can only land on planets that are uninhabited. Now, I'm sure I've either misread that or it's just part of the planetary landing. I'm sure that the inhabited planets will have starports and you can land to them, and that will be treated just like a docking station in orbit. But the unexplored ones, I mean, you could find yourself taking a trip to one of the most well-known stars. I mean, you could end up going to Betelgeuse, this enormous great star, and then landing on a planet that's orbiting it. I think that could look quite impressive if done right. But this is Frontier Developments we're talking about. That is an extremely big if. If it is possible, then I won't be doing that in any video during the beta. I'll save that exploration trip for when the thing's actually finished, which I would imagine isn't going to be until the end of the year. so I'm loath to admit it, but it looks like it has some potential, and it looks like we may actually start to get some badly needed features that will make the game interesting. Now, since this is Frontier Developments we're dealing with, I am keeping my expectations realistic, i.e. pretty much close to zero. I'm expecting them to fuck it up. I'm expecting the implementation of it to be a fucking disaster with bugs galore everywhere when it goes live, and those bugs are likely to linger for at least a month after the expansion comes along. So I would certainly still recommend, you know, don't get your hopes up too much, and don't expect to be playing it when it first comes out. I would, you know, definitely wait a month or so, because it doesn't matter how much beta testing is done. Once the game goes live, it's still going to be a fucking mess. It's still going to be unplayable, and you've got to wait for fuck knows how many patches and hotfixes before it even approaches, you know, a stage where it's vaguely stable. Nevertheless, despite all of that, there is some potential there. Will it live up to it? Well, past experience says no, but you never know. I will give it a try, but like I say, I'm keeping my expectations realistic, and I strongly advise that you all do the same. Alright, well that's it. This is Commander Lucosa saying go away.
Something inside me